where we break down the biggest tennis stories, the wildest reactions, and the moments everyone is talking about. And today, we're heading straight to the Cincinnati Open at the Lindner Family Tennis Center in Mason, Ohio, where the hardcourt season is heating up and the tennis world is buzzing. But while the biggest stars are battling it out on court, something else has captured the attention of the tennis world, the incredible Alex Eala phenomenon. Maria Sharapova, the five-time Grand Slam champion and former world #1, is in Cincinnati, and what she has witnessed around Eala has reportedly left her stunned. The sea of Philippine flags, the deafening chants of Alex, the passionate Filipino supporters, and the huge demand surrounding Eala's matches have created a scene that is difficult to ignore. Tournament director Bob Moran has also been left amazed by the response. And for Sharapova, this is especially meaningful because she was already one of the tennis legends who recognized Eala's potential after her breakthrough victory over Iga Swiatek at Wimbledon. Now she is getting to see the Eala effect up close. The Alex Eala phenomenon has followed her from Toronto to Cincinnati. Just as Filipino supporters packed Toronto's 10,000-seat Sobeys Stadium, fans have now made their presence felt in Cincinnati. Philippine flags are everywhere, chants of Eala's name echo through the venue, and supporters have traveled significant distances simply for the chance to watch her compete. Filipino fans from across Ohio, neighboring states, and even places as far away as California and New York have reportedly made the trip. That tells you something important. This isn't simply a group of fans casually watching a tennis match. For many supporters, Eala represents Filipino pride, determination, and the possibility of seeing one of their own become a major name on the global tennis stage. The reception surrounding Eala in Cincinnati has created the kind of atmosphere usually associated with the sport's biggest stars. Fans have lined walkways holding banners and shouting her name. Children have worn replica tennis outfits, adults have waved Philippine flags, and the energy around her appearances has felt more like a celebration than an ordinary tournament match. That kind of response is rare, especially for a young player who is still building her career. Eala has become more than just another competitor in the draw. She has become a symbol for an entire community. And then there's the ticket story. The moment Eala's participation in Cincinnati was confirmed, interest from fans surged. Tournament director Bob Moran has been described as stunned by the response, and the growing demand has become one of the biggest talking points surrounding the event. But the important part isn't simply the number of tickets, it's what those ticket sales represent. Fans are willing to spend their hard-earned money to watch Eala because they connect with her personality, they enjoy her style of play, and they genuinely believe in her journey. One observer summed up the phenomenon by pointing out that the Filipino population follows her and that she has become an enormous sports star in the Philippines. That kind of support has not gone unnoticed by the biggest names in tennis. Andy Roddick has even referred to the excitement as Eala-Mania, pointing out how remarkable it is to see watch parties and massive gatherings forming around her matches. Former British #1 Greg Rusedski has compared the intensity of Eala's fan support to the kind of passionate following seen around Serena Williams. Those comparisons are significant because they show that people inside the sport are beginning to understand just how unusual Eala's connection with her audience really is. And now, Maria Sharapova is seeing it firsthand. Sharapova knows exactly what it means to become a global tennis star at a young age. She knows the pressure, the attention, the expectations, and the intensity that comes with becoming more than just an athlete. That makes her reaction to Eala particularly interesting. Just weeks earlier, after Eala's historic Wimbledon victory over defending champion Iga Swiatek, Sharapova left a short but powerful comment on Wimbledon's Instagram post, "A star." For Eala, that moment was huge. Sharapova was her childhood idol, someone she looked up to when she was very young. Eala later explained that seeing Sharapova comment on her post meant that this tennis legend actually knew who she was. And for Eala, that was a win she was happy to accept. Now, imagine being that young player and suddenly seeing the same tennis legend witnessing your fans create an incredible atmosphere in Cincinnati. The Philippine flags, the chants, the packed stands, the ticket demand, the excitement. Sharapova has watched countless players enter professional tennis, rise through the rankings, become stars, and eventually step away from the sport. She knows how rare it is for a player to create this kind of connection. That is why Sharapova's recognition of Eala carries so much weight. The relationship between the two also creates a remarkable full-circle moment. Eala once looked up to Sharapova as a young girl dreaming about a career in tennis. Now her childhood idol is recognizing her as a star on the world stage. It's a story about inspiration, hard work, determination, and what can happen when a young athlete keeps believing in the dream. But Cincinnati isn't just about the fan frenzy. It's also a major opportunity for Eala on the court. She entered the tournament as the number 17 seed, the highest seeding of her career in a WTA 1000 event. That seeding comes with a major advantage, a first-round bye, meaning Eala moves directly into the second round. Her opening opponent is set to come from a matchup involving Romania's Elena Gabriela Ruse and Poland's Magda Linette, two experienced players who have previously beaten her. And the projected road ahead is anything but easy. Eala could potentially face Amanda Anisimova in the third round, Linda Noskova in the fourth round, and Jessica Pegula in the quarterfinals. That is a serious challenge, but the difficulty of the draw hasn't slowed down the excitement from her supporters. If anything, it has made the story even more compelling. Every match becomes an event, every opponent becomes another test, and every time Eala steps onto the court, thousands of fans have another reason to show up and make their voices heard. For Eala, Cincinnati is also an important part of preparing for the US Open. The tournament serves as a crucial hardcore tune-up before the final Grand Slam of the season. It gives her an opportunity to adjust to the conditions, sharpen her game, build confidence, and test herself against some of the strongest players in the world. After missing the event the previous year because of a shoulder injury, Eala is determined to make the most of this opportunity. And having thousands of fans behind her can only add another layer of motivation. But zoom out for a second, because the Eala story is bigger than Cincinnati. Her rise represents a shift in women's tennis. She is bringing a new audience to the WTA Tour, and that audience is passionate, loyal, and global. Andy Roddick has argued that everyone in tennis should be cheering for Eala because if her presence can bring hundreds of millions of people closer to the sport, that is ultimately good for tennis. That point matters. Tennis has spent years looking for ways to expand its audience and become more diverse. Historically, many of the sport's biggest stars have come from North America and Europe. Asia has produced major talents, but there have been relatively few players from the region who have broken into the highest levels of global tennis. The Philippines, in particular, had never produced a tennis star with this kind of international attention. Eala is changing that conversation. She has embraced her Filipino heritage, spoken proudly in her native language during interviews, and become a major figure back home. Her success has earned attention from major publications, including Vogue and Tatler, while Filipinos around the world have celebrated her achievements. And the support isn't coming only from fans. Her fellow players have noticed the impact too. Danielle Collins has praised Eala for being comfortable in her own skin and for showing genuine kindness. Jessica Pegula has mentioned Eala's impact, while Naomi Osaka has also acknowledged the passionate Filipino fan base. Coco Gauff has welcomed what Eala is bringing to the WTA, pointing out that she is introducing an entirely new demographic to the tour. That may be one of the most important parts of the entire story. Eala isn't simply attracting more people to watch one player. She may be helping introduce an entirely new audience to women's tennis, and her journey to this point has been remarkable. She picked up a racket at just 4 years old. In 2022, she became the first Filipino player to win a junior Grand Slam singles title. Then came her stunning run to the Miami Open semifinals, where she defeated 3 Grand Slam champions, including Iga Swiatek. She later reached another major milestone by becoming the first Filipina to win a Grand Slam singles main draw match at the US Open. Then came her first WTA Tour singles title at the Washington Open. Now, she has earned a career-high number 17 seeding at a WTA 1000 event, created a ticket rush that has stunned tournament organizers, and attracted praise from legends and stars across the sport. That is the Eala Effect. Maria Sharapova calling her a star may have been only 2 words, but for Eala, those words meant something much bigger. They came from someone she admired as a child, someone who had already achieved everything she dreamed of achieving. And now that same legend is watching Eala's rise unfold in front of a sea of passionate Filipino supporters in Cincinnati. The story has come full circle. But this is not the end of Eala's journey. It may only be the beginning of the next chapter. Cincinnati gives her another chance to prove herself against elite competition, another opportunity to grow her American audience, and another stage where the world can see just how powerful the Eala phenomenon has become. The fans are showing up. The tennis world is paying attention. The biggest names in the sport are talking about her, and Maria Sharapova has already seen enough to call her a star. Now the question is simple: how much bigger can the Eala Effect become? If Eala continues to improve, continues to compete with confidence, and continues giving fans reasons to believe, the answer could be much bigger than anyone expected. The tennis world is watching, the Filipino community is behind her, and Cincinnati is the latest stage in what has already become an incredible story. This is the Rally Review. For more tennis coverage, Alex Eala updates, major tournament stories, and the biggest moments from the world of tennis, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next chapter of the Eala story could be even bigger.